All right, so our consciousness is the observer, right? Which means our bodies are moving independent of our control. The bodies are already moving. Our consciousness has just been put into these bodies to observe what is already happening. You know, however you want to look at what's happening. These things are already moving, they're already doing these things, they're already happening. They're just playing out different scenarios, they're playing out different movements in physics, just like different planets colliding, different atoms shooting in different directions. It's just motion. And our consciousness has just been planted into these things in order to observe them. We can feel the sensations of them, all of that. And so with that, imagine if the earth was conscious. You know, imagine if all these objects were conscious as well. It's the same type of thing, where it's just literally a consciousness being aware of motion that's already happening. And we feel like we're in control, but maybe that's just a self-delusion. Maybe that's just a misunderstanding of what's actually happening here. And that this is all happening anyways. And we have no control. We're literally just the eye. We're just the eye watching things. And then one other way to take that is that your emotion, your mood of it, merges with like a multi-world theory, where when you're feeling better about things and you're feeling good, you move into an alternate version of the current situation where things keep going in that high energy direction, right? Like you get to guide the movie you're watching. And when your energy is good, you get to move, like you enter high energy, the things around you get into a higher energy. But when you feel bad and you feel worse, you guide yourself into a low energy version of that event. And it's kind of like our consciousness isn't controlling the body, it's just controlling the channel, like the remote. And we're just flipping between the different versions of the body that we're implanted in right now and experiencing it based on how we control our emotions. Because that's the only thing we can do. Our consciousness and the feelings, our viewpoint of the scenario is like, we define that. And so if you choose to just enjoy everything instead of suffering everything, instead of fearing everything, instead of looking at things as painful or looking at things like, oh man, how am I going to do this? And realize that your whole body and this whole physical world is operating independent of you for the most part. And as long as you can get yourself to a place where you're enjoying everything, it'll bring you to a physical world where everything good is happening to you. Then you'll have a much better movie to watch. But if you keep feeding into those negative emotions, those negative ideas, then you're going to have a horror movie to watch. And it's going to get worse and worse. And one interesting thing about that is that if we look at, like, okay, so if we are essentially just matter that's become conscious, then you have to apply the same thing to everything else, right? So if the earth was conscious, in the same way we're conscious, you know, in the same way that we can think and have emotions and feelings, imagine the earth is the same. Imagine the rocks are the same. Imagine your chair is the same, you know? Imagine there's consciousness in all of these different things, but we just don't recognize it because it doesn't have emotions. But what kind of world does that turn it into for you? For me, it makes it all feel like a lot more of a movie.